Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you've discovered my channel, yay, you found me, finally. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. My goal is to save you time and money by giving you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Find Me Falling. This romantic comedy is now playing exclusively on Netflix. The film is rated PG. It's an hour and 33 minutes. And my overall movie review mom grade is an A. I really enjoyed this. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes, interesting lines, funny lines, and we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar. But first, let me point out today's sponsored item, which is the soundtrack to this film. It has some fantastic music. And so you can click on the link down below. It's an Amazon link, which means it doesn't cost you anymore, but Amazon will throw a few pretty pennies at me just for letting you know about this particular item. All right, back to the movie. So in a nutshell, the story is about a rock star who tries to get away from it all after a failed comeback album. He escapes to a dreamy Mediterranean island only to discover that his new cliffside home has an unfortunate notoriety that attracts unwanted visitors and an old flame. The film was written and directed by Stellana Clearis. I really enjoyed this. So quick tips for parents. Kids are probably going to be bored because it's mostly adults talking. The very first words that we hear come out of anybody's mouth are words of profanity. So that was disappointing. We hear a lot of Greek spoken with subtitles, and we get to learn a Greek swear word within the first few minutes. There is cigarette smoking, alcohol, and two unmarried girls get knocked up. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are fame and celebrity, connection, people who make an impact on our lives, lost love, forgiveness, independent women, friendship, sacrifice, motherhood, suicide, and giving others hope. Oh, and choices and consequences. All right, so on to the list of things that I really liked about this film. First of all, Harry Connick Jr. does a great job in this. And I love that we get to hear him sing too. He's been in other films where he just acts, and I keep waiting. Are we going to get to hear him sing? And so in this movie, we do. Yay! And it's been a while since I've seen him in anything. We're introduced to the very talented Ali Fumiko Whitney. She has a lovely voice and some solid acting chops as well. The title takes on a new meaning only minutes into the film when we see someone walk off a cliff to commit suicide. Then we get additional levels of meaning in Acts 2 and 3. And I love that when the title is clever, but on many different levels. The movie takes place in the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. We get immersed in its culture in the film. We get to see some delicious looking food in Cyprus, and it all looked really great, except for the snails. So that was kind of icky. This is the very first movie to be filmed in Cyprus for Netflix. We get to hear some lovely music. It was, as I mentioned, that's all in the soundtrack. So if you like the music, you're definitely going to want to pick that up. It was really refreshing to watch a rom-com that wasn't like all the others, where two people meet, they initially hate each other, then they fall in love, then they have a crisis and a falling out, then they fall in love again, right? That's the standard formula. I really like that there was already history between the couple, and the movie gave us layers to their relationship as it evolved. The movie illustrates how blood is thick, and we need to love and support our family, especially through tough times and mistakes. I thought the very last scene was so sweet and shows a new definition of family. Now, the list of things that I didn't like is very, very small, as you can imagine, since I gave this an A. First of all, in the beginning, in Act 1, I found it very hard to feel sorry for a rich celebrity. However, I learned more about him and I definitely warmed up to him, and I think audiences will too. I've read reviews from people who said that the movie has family values, yet one of the earlier scenes shows a woman talking in church about how she hooked up with a guy the night before. And then we see another girl get pregnant, and there's talk of another pregnancy out of wedlock. And I'm thinking, those aren't really family values. What I think they mean is that family is the center of the story, and that is true. Now, whenever I watch movies, I write down the lines that I hear that are funny or interesting, simply to share them with you so you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. I have all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, so you can run over there and check them out, but I'll share some of them with you right now. For example, there's this old guy who lives in the village. His name is Pedro. He's played by Antonis Katsaris, which seems like a pretty authentic guy, right? Anyway, he has this crush on the doctor who is the main leading lady in the film. And he says to her, "A woman like you shouldn't be on the shelf." And she kind of sighs. She's played beautifully by Agnes Scott. And she says, "Sometimes the shelf is easier." Now, there's another line or another conversation between John, who's played by Harry Connick Jr., and Melina, who's played by Ali Fumiko Whitney, one of the girls in the village. And she's trying to get him to do something really romantic. And so he says, "This is stupid." And she says, "No, it's not. It's romantic." And then he says, "Well, the two are often confused," which made me laugh, but I also thought that's true. And then there's some interesting lines, and this one is spoken several times. This one is spoken by Melina, where somebody is saying, "Oh, you should get into the music industry, or that's your career, or whatever." And she says, "Music isn't a career, but a way of life." And you definitely see that illustrated in the film. And then there's a character who's the captain, the police of the island, played by Toy Demetro. And he says, "Who needs therapy when you have nature?" And you definitely see that illustrated in the beautiful island. Now, one of the meanings of the title has to do with falling, right? Falling in love. And so Harry Connick Jr.'s character says, "Falling is involuntary." And then the leading lady, played by Agnes Scott, says, "So you don't jump in love?" And I love the conversation of falling versus jumping in love. It really does take a leap of faith to allow yourself to be vulnerable and open up your heart. And it does feel like you're falling and jumping all at the same time. They have several different conversations about that, and it's used differently throughout the film. And I really loved that. Now, another element of that falling is when the grandma is speaking to the leading lady, and she says, "Oh, you took the easy way out." And she's like, "What? I raised a daughter as a single mother and I worked full time. And how is that easy?" And then this is what she says. And this is one of the big themes of the whole movie. She says, "You never gave your heart to someone else. You never risked the pain of togetherness. Being on your own is easy. Being with someone is hard." And I think the movie illustrated very well how relationships are hard. You'd like to think just falling in love and living happily ever after is how it's supposed to work. And maybe it does for a time, but those hard times do come. And you have to be committed and want to make it work in order to make it work. That's life. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for some movies I thought of instantly as I was watching this one. The first one is Notting Hill, which is a famous oldie but a goodie rom-com about a movie star falling in love with a regular guy. And that's similar to this film in that he's the rock star celebrity falling in love with a regular woman, although she's pretty remarkable, not just regular. And then another one is called Music and Lyrics, which also has to do with music, celebrity, regular people, that kind of thing. And then the last one is a recent one that just came out. And when the film started, I thought, oh no, is this going to be another May, December relationship movie? The movie I'm talking about is The Idea of You, with Anne Hathaway as the older woman who is a regular woman, and she falls for a younger rock star boy band kind of thing. The good news is that's not what this movie is about. And so I was grateful it wasn't going to be that, just because May, December romances are a little bit creepy. Anyway, I'm going to cue that movie review up as soon as this one ends so you can see what I had to say about it and see if that's a movie that you'd like to watch. I actually thought it was done really well. All right, that's it. When you get a minute, give this video a thumbs up. If my reviews are helpful, subscribe, you know the drill, and visit me on all my social media sites. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social medias out there. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.